Alright, in this video we're going to learn how to solve for r. Because so far we've been solving for f. You've been saying, given this mass, and this distance, what is the force of gravity? But if we just use algebra to rearrange this equation, right, if I multiply both sides by r squared, those r squared would cancel out. Then I divided both sides by fg. These fg's would get canceled out. So we'd be left with r squared equals gm1 m2 over fg. But I want to solve for r, not r squared. So if I take the square root of both sides, I get r equals the square root of the quantity gm1 m2 over fg. So let's do an example of how to use this equation. So I'll just rewrite that. So we have r equals the square root of g m1 m2 fg. And remember that it's not the square root of this top part divided by the bottom part. It's the square root of the whole thing. You get this number, it's the square root of this whole number. Alright, so let's say I tell you that you are 60 kilograms and you're above Earth. Again, so let's see. The mass of Earth is 5.97 times 10 to the 24 kilograms. Your mass, 60 kilograms. What else do we need? And let's say that your weight is equal to 486 newtons. Alright, so let's just set this up. So we have r is equal to the square root of g times mass 1, that can be you, times mass 2, which can be the Earth. All of that divided by your force. Alrighty, and plug that all in, we get 7.01 times 10 to the 6 meters. So that is now this distance r. Distance between the center of the Earth and you is 7.01 times 10 to the 6 meters. Now if I put another wrinkle into this question, I said, instead of just asking you for the distance, I asked you, how far above the Earth's surface are you? Right? We would have to do one more thing. So if we know that this whole thing is 7.01 times 10 to the 6 meters, but we know that this distance here is 6.378 times 10 to the 6 meters. If I wanted to get just this distance from here to here, the distance from the surface to you, I would have to get r, this whole distance, and I have to subtract the radius of the Earth, the 6.378 times 10 to the 6 meters. So if I go ahead and do that, minus 6.378 times 10 to the 6 meters. What I'm left with is this distance above the surface of the Earth that you are, which comes out to 6.33 times 10 to the 5 meters. And again, that should make sense, because now you're saying, if I get this distance above the surface, and I add this distance, which is the distance from the center to the surface, I should get the total distance from the center to where you are. And you can just use this same formula for all of these equations. And again, remember to be careful with your square rooting.